The light body myth, the great deception. That's true. Who would have thought the light body is a deception? Well, kind of, because the light body is really an after effect. So welcome, evolutionaries. Today I want to talk to you a little about the myth of the light body and why those dark beings that control the world, want us to focus on the light body and not the true self, not the true origins of the light. So as I've talked to you about before, you have a solar sun, S-O-U-L-A-R. This heart area is the container, the ever flowing God force from within as it expands following the law of Phi. And as we attune to this and grasp, we begin to blossom. And so this God force within us begins to grow greater and greater, because if you think about it, the whole goal of God is expansion. And yet when they talk about the light body, because that narrative was corrupted, because they want you to think about the body, they want you to think about the outside and not the inside. So let me ask you a very simple question. Would you rather be the sun that creates the light or light? Well, should be pretty obvious. You are that solar sun. Well, the humans are that solar sun, and we are bringing forth a brand new reality. Actually, I talked about this in my last video. We're creating a triality, bringing spirit back into duality, which is changing and altering the construct of this reality. With Mandela effects, I've got people that are emailing me and texting me and sending me message on Facebook and YouTube about the mystical experiences they're having. They're able to see through walls. They're able to meditate and talk to beings they never had in contact with before. They are having so many just wonderful, blissful experiences. It is amazing what happens when you begin to unlock this. And again, you tap into the solar sun, because there are teachers out there that talk about a silver line or cord that comes into your head. That's false. Only who has a string on their head? A puppet. This is exactly what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you're a puppet, their puppet. You're their marionette. I am not going to stand for that, and I'm going to teach you how to think optically, because when they say the light body, they're trying to, again, to make you think from the outside, or about the outside and not the inside. This furnace. So what happens when you what's it called? Stroke a furnace? It gets bigger. The fire grows. It illuminates. It creates more warmth. And this is what's happening when you tap into and attune to the God force within you. You open the valve. It's like going from a garden hose to firefighting hose, with just this amazing force that is emanating from you. And this force is even greater than you can imagine, because it is love. And it's not only love, but it is unselfish love. And there are conditional variants to love. And then once we get to a certain point with regards to stoking the furnace, this solar sun, to create this light, this love that enwraps all, because that is what we're here to do. We are here to be that positive force. And this is really exciting to me, because this creates this triality. It introduces this whole new vibratory frequency spectrum into this reality. So as we are here, as we started out in this lifetime, we are humans. And remember, Hu is the ancient name of God, and man is an ancient name of mind. So we're the mind of God here, and we got tricked and imprisoned. And that's on a different video. But I want you to really kind of take this away. So as we grow and expand the solar sun to become this greater light of unselfish love in this dimensional plane, we unlock it, as I mentioned, bring into the spirit down. So we now have created triality. But we've also grown the container in which this happens. And so what happens is while we are here, and again, we already have a light body. It's called our auric field. But this becomes greater the wellspring of God, the God force from within us opens up. So we've gone from here, this human that they've tried to keep small, to here. And this really is reawakening the bio-spiritual, bio-etheric physicality that we had when we were 12, 15 feet tall back in Atlantis and Lemuria. And this is really exciting because as we open this up, you'll notice here the heart, the furnace, if you will, the opening for the wellspring, the container, the Holy Grail, this chalice of love goes from here where we are just mere humans. I say mere humans because there are mankind and then there are humans. And of course, the mankind, they're the cursed ones that are here to get in our way, to manipulate us. These are the demonic forces which have co-bred, hybridized with demons that really rule the world and try to control us and create this false narrative where they've scrubbed things like, and I've talked about the Bible in different books, because the Bible originally had 777 books, and it's one book out of an interplanetary spiritual library system. So we've been cut off from all that. So this is just a way for us to regain that inner knowing, that and actually even going beyond knowing, but creating a realization. And then that realization is something that is beyond what knowing is. And then it really gets fun because then we actualize it. And actualization is we are the becoming, we are the blossoming. It's like this new bud of a flower blossoming and opening up. So the wellspring, we increase the container, we increase the flow of love through us so it touches everyone else. We increase the mystical experiences. And I mentioned this is like really exciting to me because as we begin to open and blossom and the God force flows, all of these things are coming back to the true humans they've tried to control. And this is the time of the Great Awakening, not the Great Reset. And this is exciting, and I'm so thrilled you're here watching this because as we increase the flow of this unselfish love, it's going to be like a tidal wave hitting these mankind beings, and they're not going to be able to withstand the force that we're able to bring because they're all about the negativity, the beliefs. Because if you think about beliefs, and what is the main thing that people are teaching today is belief. But if you look at the word belief, right in the middle is the word lie, because belief is almost there. They want you to almost be there. They don't want you to fully get there, because that's where knowing comes in. But knowing, as I've talked about in a previous video, it's still mortal. But when you go past knowing and get into realization, you actually begin tapping into the spiritual fields. And then, of course, actualization is you embody. And this is actually the really great stuff as you move into, again, the bioetheric. So as we talk about this, it almost reminds me, it's one of my mom's favorite cartoons of the Grinch. You know, the Grinch where his heart grew 10 times that day, or 10 sizes. I think it's 10 sizes. That's really what you guys, you evolutionaries, this is what you amazing people have, you amazing humans, again, ancient name of God, have, and you are expanding on this law of phi. So you're breaking through the mortal physical constructs and tapping into the etheric and the celestial godly realms by opening this up. And the really neat thing about this, and I mentioned this in my last video, is it's as you build, this is really your armor of God. You're wrapped in this golden body, and this light body, again, expands. And the light body cannot expand. You cannot really step into your light body until the furnace, the solar sun, is fully activated. And then you have, again, this amazing force of God, of love that you are bringing forth, which creates this. You are tapping into the angelic, and it's really exciting to me. So again, How do you do this? Well, it's the law of phi, and I've talked about that in many videos, and this is something that nobody else is teaching. It is the expansionary, it is the law of God, it is natural law throughout the entire cosmos. Just look at any solar system, any galaxy, and the way it is spinning and unfolding. This is the way God creates this greater realization of who we are, and this is who we are to become. Just think about how beautiful Mother Earth is and what she's endured, but she is growing and she's blossoming, but she's been through all heck since we've been here. And it's not really us, it is the demonic invaders that have stepped in, that have captured us in a way, but today is our liberation, is our freedom. We claim dominion. As a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting that I tried to make this video, and I typically do like one take and I'm done. I did like 7, 8, 9 takes trying to get this thing rolling. I was like, okay, what is going on? I'm like, okay, the bad guys really don't want me to make this video. So I stopped, I closed my eyes, I went to a meditative state, and my ears pop, which is kind of funny because I think everybody's ridden or flown on an airplane, and your ears pop when you change, the altitude. And so when I go into a meditative state, my ears pop. So it tells me that I'm connecting with spirit because I feel like I'm changing, my internal altitude is changing, if you will. And so I close my eyes and I claim dominion and I cast out everything. And so this is the very next take after I claim dominion. And guess what? It's a great take. So you have the power. There is nothing, no dark being, no demon, no anything that can stand up to the power of the God within you. When you claim dominion, your soul has power. And this is really great because even in this state, we, as a trickle, if you will, we still have power. When we get to this state, we have the power of 10,000 suns, if you will, 10,000 sparks of God all being released at the same time. So, as I wrap up this video, my question to you, do you want to be a ray of light, to have this light body? Or do you want to be the solar sun and unleash the true God force here on Earth, and really create this new triality and reshape everything to bring heaven to earth, to bring and restore the Garden of Eden? Because that evolutionary is our jobs as angelics, as aspects of God, as this spark of God here on earth. And it's up to us to emblazon. And if you remember, the fiery angels are the ones that protected God, the seraphims. So they wouldn't let anyone close because they're burning off the detritus, and they wouldn't let anything evil even near the court or the throne of God. And so this solar sun, if SOULAR, is the embodiment of that flame here on earth. And again, that's part of a trickster narrative as well. They want you to think that fire is bad, right? They kind of associate that with the place down below. Well, guess what? Fire purifies. And this is what the angels that sit and guard God in heaven, in other religions, especially, there's other angelics, religion or angels that are talked about in other religions and spiritual practices all over the world. And it's always the fiery angels, the fiery ones that are protecting, because they burn off, again, all the detritus. And this is what we are bringing to earth by enacting that. So again, you already have a light body. It's up to us to expand the light body. Don't fall into their false narrative. Be a holographic thinker, an optical thinker, and think about, like, okay, well, a light body. Okay, well, great, what now? Well, remember, the source of the light is God within. It's not external. They want you to think about the external, not the internal. So go within. As a matter of fact, one of the first things that my guides ever shared with me was in addition to see beyond, which is a mantra I live by, but was to ascend into the depths. So let me say that again. Ascend into the depths. And that is something that I didn't really quite understand at the time because it's counterintuitive. You're ascending into the depths. It didn't make sense to me. But now it does, because the deeper I go within, the more that I resonate with God and the forces of God. And I tell you what, that's probably exactly why those guys are kind of like messing with me before this video. So guess what? This video was going out no matter what. So I love you guys. Leave comments. Oh, and you know what? I have a favor to ask. Because of the content that I share, I'm shadow banned, meaning that they don't want this out. So please like it, subscribe, and share where you can. I mean, this is like, we are all on a mission to raise up and increase the evolutionary stature of everyone to unlock the God force within. So with that, I love you, and I look forward to talking with you in the next episode. Please, of course, leave me questions and whatnot. Love you. Bye-bye.